Hello and welcome to the Lost in Possession podcast. My name is Jamie and today we're bringing you FPL, Game Week 7 and a bit of Game Week 6 recap, just looking at our points. But for Game Week 7 we are looking at, should we be having Luton players or Burnley players since they have the double game week? Chelsea players, what should we do with them? Looking at the likes of Sterling, Chilwell, Jackson, who a lot of people own. And then looking at what teams should we be targeting due to their having great fixtures and what players from them teams. Let's roll that intro. So first things first, if you could really help us out and give us a subscribe, it does help the channel out, and what we're trying to do is build it to get better and better, and you subscribing helps us achieve that goal, and it will be better content for yourselves. Now let's get straight into it. We'll start with the Game Week 6 for all three of us, me, Reese and Jordan. I think we'll start with lowest first, and unfortunately that is Reese. A horrific week compared to pretty much everyone else. The average being 68 and only getting 37. It's defensively having 2 0-pointers is really hurt him there. And to be honest, only Maddison returned for him, so that was a big problem for him. He now has the real big issue of Jackson being suspended after picking up 5 yellow cards, and Jackson's not really proved anything to warrant keeping him in your squad anyway. So, Reese, if you're listening, get rid of Jackson quickly. I will be trying to say who he could replace him with later on. Moving on to Jordan, 82 points. Very good. That's what you want from a game week. Both me and Jordan were very happy with the sort of 3 o'clock kickoffs going on. Not many players played, but we had the City ones with Foden and Haaland. Foden obviously getting the first goal, then Haaland getting the second. Probably were expecting a bit more due to that was at half time and how dominant City were. But Rodri sending off changed it completely, and happy to get out of there. Jordan's got in his midfield, 4 players with double-digit hauls. Can't ask for much better than that. Saka with 2 goals. Son with 2 goals in that 2-2 North London derby, and Bruno providing the goal and all three bonus points. Very good. Once again, he's got the Jackson problem, so that's got to be his transfer out this week. And defensively, he has Chilwell, 0-pointer, but 2 clean sheets either side. And then the goalie, Johnson, getting a nice clean sheet against Fulham, who he was probably one of the reasons why it was a clean sheet. So he's doing well, fair play to him. Onto my team, I'll briefly go over because it's fairly similar to Jordan's. Walker is my differential in this. I put him in there because I wanted someone in City's defence, and Walker's actually been so attacking. So I've had him in from the start, been very happy with him. He's going nowhere. And then the only one is Isaac. He's a bit of a worry for me because he's not starting the league games. He's starting the cup games of the Champions League and the Carabao Cup. I have just recorded this after he has scored against City and knocked us out. It is what it is. But that could be a slight worry for him playing on the weekend. But that's it for Game Week 6. We need to move on. What's ahead of us? And I think the first thing to look at is probably the double game week. And I think, personally, Burnley are a void. Don't go for any Burnley players. I don't think the fixtures are that great for it. Yes, you've got Luton in there away, but they've not shown anything that really goes, yes, get certain players in. Where Luton, I think, are a little bit different. When you've got Everton away and then Burnley at home, if we were talking about Man City having these fixtures, we'd be triple captaining Haaland, for example. Or if Liverpool had it triple captaining Salah, they would be the discussions. So to get a Luton player in, I think could be a wise sort of move. But I only really think there's only 2 players to consider. I'm going to start with Kabore in defence. He's 4 million, so if he if you're only playing for this double game week, and then he's on your bench, you've not really lost any money. It's a safe move, and you're not taking up any really important attacking potential. Got the assist against Wolves for the penalty. A bit of a dubious penalty, but he still got it. I think he's just a safe option. He does have a quite good X assists. As you can see in the Fulham game at 0.37, and then at the Brighton game for the first game at 0.26. They're good solid numbers for him. You can see he's attacking. It's not going to be consistent with these players. He is 4.0 and at Luton, who are probably the worst side in the league. But I think moving on to probably a really surprising good option, I think, is Carlton Morris. Now, yes, he's got the two fixtures, that's really good. But if you forget that, if you look at his sort of numbers he's putting up, he's getting sort of, good solid points every other game. So an 8 point in the first game, 2 points, 5, 2, and then 9. They're great. And then you look at his price, 5.5 million. For any 5.5 million, getting them sort of, returns, you'd be very happy. So actually, he could be a great third option. I think people were looking at Archer. He's a million cheaper at Sheffield United, but with a double game week, he could be the one to put in. Luton's other fixtures after the double game week are a bit of a mixture, with Spurs at home in the one after. So really, you probably won't want a Luton player in there, and then it's Forest away, and then after that is Villa at home. They're not really get fixtures that are jumping out. So this is where it might be sort of a 1 week punt, and then they sit on the bench. So this is why I mentioned Kabore at 4 million. If he sits on the bench after the double game week, you're perfectly fine. You should have enough cover elsewhere to replace him, and then he can just be the sort of sub if you very much need it. But to be honest, Morris is the one I'm more looking at. I've got a sort of third striker spot open and enough money to upgrade to get to him. So it could be my transfer for this week. But I'm still a bit iffy with my defence. And actually, I think that's a perfect segue for myself to bring into talking about Chelsea players. And if we go on to Chelsea with Ben Chilwell into the defence, 0 points against Aston Villa, did not start, and then comes on and gets booked. Now, we brought him in because of how attacking he is. I didn't start with him from the very start. I brought him in and was quite happy when you saw him playing in a left wing position and in positions that you'd see strikers in, where you think he's going to get some serious points. But with Chelsea's poor form, and then the likes of him now being dropped, it's a real worry for me to have the Chelsea players in here. We'll talk about both Jackson, Chilwell and Sterling, who's not on the screen. You've got Fulham away, Burnley away, and then the fixtures turn horrible. And just from the screenshot, I've got Arsenal there at home and Brentford there at home, but they also play United, City in that run, Spurs as well, and it's all like in a big chunk in a row. So it might be a hold. If you don't need to make, I think Chilwell might start getting a bit more game time, because even with him out the side, it's not improved. So I feel like he might be a keep for 2 games, but after that, you've just got to get rid, I think. You don't want any Chelsea in your squad, because I don't see him getting a lot of points. Definitely not clean sheets, and they've shown not to be a great attacking side already. That brings on to Jackson here. Suspended after 5 yellow cards. Now, I think he might be the first player this season to be suspended with 5 yellow cards. They're all for petty little things, dissent, a stupid tackle here and there. So really, it's a frustrating time for owners of Jackson. And like I said, with Reese's and Jordan's team, you've got to get rid. There's a 0 benefit of keeping him, especially when I say the fixtures get so bad. He's not performing, and Chelsea just don't look like Well, they don't. They're not looking like they're scoring. They're just not scoring. That's quite simple as that. Because created chances, they're joint with City this season, so they are creating it. But he's clearly showing he's not the guy to get the goals. So for me, he's a must sell now. Chilwell, you could hold on for 2 weeks, but even then, there's no guarantee he's starting now. So it could be quite a waste when there's better players going around. On to sort of some better fixtures on players that we should be targeting for certain clubs. Let's start off with Liverpool. Now, they've got a tough game against Spurs first. But I think if you look at that mid-run where they've got Everton at home, Forest at home, Luton away, Brentford at home, they're great fixtures for attacking wise, in my opinion. And they're looking like a team who probably will compete for the title at the moment. They are second in the league, obviously, but they're showing that sort of what we've seen previously when City and Liverpool have gone for the title races. So Liverpool should be sort of nearly fixture proof in that way. I think number one being Salah. He's actually had a goal or assist in every game this season. Talk about consistency. That's what you'd like to see in your team. A lot of money, though, is the only issue. I put Robertson in next because Trent's out injured and sort of Van Dijk's there. I just think Robertson's the next most attacking. So that's where, why he's probably second. But looking at defence, they could get some good clean sheets in this. And in third, Darwin Núñez. He probably could be higher up on the list, but you don't know if he's going to start. And to be honest, I don't even think he knows what he's going to do on the day and in the moment. He can be unpredictable, but that could be quite fun to have, really. So it's a bit of a risky one, in my opinion. But at the moment, he's getting the goals for Liverpool, so he could be a very good option. Moving on to Spurs, I think once again they play Liverpool at home, but after that the fixtures look very, very good. Luton away, Fulham at home, Palace away, Chelsea at home, Wolves away and Villa at home. None of them scare me, and I think Spurs could are playing very well and can continue to do so in them fixtures and pick up the wins. Now I think the options are quite obvious for this one. I think Maddison is number one still. He's creating the most and going to pick up a goal as well. Son's in second. I understand if people prefer Son to Maddison because Son's got that goal threat much more than Maddison. But I feel like Son will score with a Maddison assist and Maddison will assist someone else. I think Maddison will be just a bit more involved. Hence, I've got him number one. And number three is Undogi. Spurs can definitely get some clean sheets out of this. And he's so attacking. It's great to see for Spurs. And it's great to see for our defence in FPL getting him in. I think if you haven't got him in already, he's definitely one to be high up on your list to target. On to then Aston Villa, who have had a bit of a mixed start, but I feel like this run of games will be perfect for them. Brighton at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home, Luton at home, Forest away, Fulham at home, and then the last one's Tottenham away. My three picks would be Watkins. I think he's probably coming out as maybe one of the best attackers options. I think you've got Haaland as a sort of no-brainer. Alvarez is in there. Watkins is in there. Like I said, Darwin Núñez possibly. These are all sort of replacements for Jackson. Well, except for Haaland, obviously. So I think he could be a great option now. I've got Diaby, if you're looking for someone in the midfield, possibly not convinced by Mbeumo and Brentford's form. That's where he might be a good swap over. And with them these fixtures, he can definitely get a goal or two or more. And then finally, Matty Cash, who's actually, popped up with a few goals this season already. Get some good clean sheets and some assists. So I think he would be probably the best option in that defence anyway. I do have Martinez in goal, so I probably wouldn't have the double up, but if you don't, I think he's quite a good option. And there you have it for the episode. I hope you like, and once again, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, give us a like. Any comments you think I've got right, any comments you think I've got wrong, or anyone I've even missed. So as always, like, comment and subscribe. You know the drill.